Most people who are starting from scratch about building agents actually don't know what they are doing, and that's exactly why I'm creating this video. Here's the truth: AI agents are the biggest thing that are happening in tech right now, and it's not just another tool that thinks, it actually plans, executes, and completes the whole task from A to Z. And Andrej Karpathy, the person who worked at OpenAI, said that this is the decade of AI agents. Now, 57% of the companies are already running AI agents in production, and this number is only going to get higher. But here's the biggest problem: people who are starting out to build AI agents don't know a lot of stuff about it, and they mess up the things. These are the 8 concepts that you should actually understand before starting to work on AI agents. So today I'm going to break down these 8 concepts for you that nobody actually explains pretty well. These are the concepts that I wish someone had told me before I was starting out, so that it would not be such a trouble for me to create agents and deploy them. Number 1. What an AI agent is actually. Now, if you're thinking of an AI agent that just answers and it is a pro version of ChatGPT, you're wrong right there. That's not what it is. Now, AI agent is actually a system to which you can provide a goal and it figures it out on its own. It creates the plan, connects the tools, writes code if necessary, checks its own work, and gets the job done. And you don't even have to provide instructions to it. It keeps going on its own until the job is done. It figures out all the stuff, all the problems in the way, solves them by themselves, and continues. Think of it like this: you ask the chatbot, how do I book a flight for Tokyo? And it gives you all the set of instructions. Now, if you tell the AI agent directly to book a flight for next Friday to Tokyo within $800, boom, it will go there on the internet and book it on its own for you. Now, how will it do it? It will go to websites, check prices, fill forms, make the payment, and boom, you have the ticket with you. And that's the difference between a chatbot and an AI agent. One just talks and the other one acts. Number 2, the perceive, plan, act loop. Think of it like this: this is about the engine that runs the agent. Now, every single AI agent, no matter how complex, works only on one loop. It's called the perceive, plan, and act loop. That's it. Now, under this loop, first the agent perceives what text you have given it. If it's a website, it will browse it. If it's an email, it will read it. If it's an image, it will scan it and understand what's the context of that image. Then it plans. Suppose you give it a large goal, it breaks it down into chunks of smaller goals. Suppose you ask it to write an email. Now, it will try to understand first how to send an email. For that, it will try to access your Gmail. Then, it will try to read the email which you're trying to respond to. Or if it is a new email, it will directly go to Compose. And then, it will start writing that email as if it were you. It understands that to get to the goal, you have to perform certain things step by step to achieve that goal. And that's what it just does. Now, once these steps are created, it goes into the acts loop, where it actually performs the task step by step after it planned out everything how it is going to do it. Like, for example, if you told it in this step, it actually does something like reading a message, searching the web, opening a file, or maybe running some code. And then the loop starts again. It perceives what it just did and understands if there is a correction that needs to be done. Then it again writes down those steps, goes into the loop of acting, and does it. This continues until the job isn't finished. This is called the agentic loop. And if you don't understand this, then nothing about AI agents will make sense to you. Number 3, the tools that you need to use for building these agents and running them. How agents do things in the real world? Well, this is a question that trips up every beginner. An AI model can just generate text. Without tools, it's nothing but a brain with no hand. To do something, actually, it needs tools, which are the hands and legs of this, and they together come in and form an AI agent. Tools are the things that an AI agent uses to interact with the real world. Think of the tools like a calculator, a tool that sends email. Now, tools can be of many different kinds. A tool for reading your email, a tool for reading the web page, a tool that can calculate stuff for you, or a basic calculator, a tool that sends a message, a tool that opens a file, or even a tool that can control your computer screen. When an agent has the right tools, it can go from just outputting fancy text to actually getting work done in this real world. A coding agent with access to terminal can write code, execute it, and see if there are any bugs and fix it all by its own without any human intervention. A rule of thumb for beginners is the quality of your agent depends upon the quality of tools you give it. A smart brain with bad tools is still useless. Give your agent the right set of tools to perform the right set of actions and see the magic happening in the world. Number 4, memory. Why does your agent keep forgetting things and how can you fix it? Okay, this concept confuses a lot of people when they are starting off, and it's probably the most important concept for this video. And it's the most important concept in this list. AI models do not remember stuff between conversations. Every time you start a new chat, it starts a new session with a completely blank mind. It's like talking to someone with severe amnesia because it does not understand about the stuff you talked about yesterday, what task it completed, and what all happened in the past. This is why an agent breaks when you try to take multiple steps across different timelines. And there are actually different types of memories that are there for an agent that you need to understand. The first is the short-term memory. This is the memory that is there inside a single conversation. The moment you break the conversation and start a new one, the agent forgets everything. Long-term memory. This is the memory that can be stored into a database or a file that the agent can access at a later stage again to understand what all has happened up until now. Then there is semantic memory. It's just general knowledge and facts that the agent knows. Then there is procedural memory, skills that the agent has learned and it has performed before in a workflow so that it does not have to think it through every time. The most important of these is the long-term memory, and the thing that makes long-term memory work is called a vector database. Instead of storing it as plain text, the vector database stores it in a form of number that represents some meanings. Because the agent does not search for words, it searches for meanings, and it understands on that basis that what is relevant and what is not. So build memory in your agent from day one. Do not skip this. Number 5, planning and reasoning. How does an agent actually think? Okay, so you gave your agent a goal, but now what? Just think? The way most agents work is through something called REACT, which stands for reason and act. The agent reasons step by step and then it acts. Then it reasons again and acts again until the job is done. It's like you could literally see someone think, now to write a report, it needs to get that information. So it goes, gets the top 10 relevant articles, reads it. Now it summarizes and forms points on that article. Then it summarizes those points into a report. And there you have it, your report. See how it performed it? It's like you could literally watch someone think. Suppose you ask it to write a report. Now to write a report, it needs to get the information about the topic. So it goes to the internet, it finds the most relevant articles. Out of those relevant articles, it finds all the points. Now out of those points and all the data that it got, it gets the relevant information and summarizes it to form a report. The problem most beginners face is they expect the agent to magically figure out everything. But agents are only as good as the goal that is defined to them. The more vague your goal is, the more the agent has to guess. And guess what? It guesses wrong at most times. The goal is simple. When you're building an agent or prompting them, give them a basic plan along with the goal. This helps them understand better of what you want and how you want it, and you will see drastically improved results. Number 6. Single agents versus multi-agents ecosystem. This is when one agent isn't enough. Here's where things get really interesting, and most beginners don't even know about the multi-agent ecosystem. A single AI agent is powerful, no doubt, but some tasks are too big, too complex, or too risky to handle for a single agent. Here's where the multi-agent systems come in. Instead of one agent doing everything, you have a team of agents now that can do everything for you. And you can have each of those agents specialized in something else, something different. And to top it off, you can have an orchestrator agent which acts as a manager to all these agents. What this manager agent does? Simple. It just breaks down the complex tasks into smaller tasks and assign them to each of these agents. Then there are worker agents which actually do the task that is given to them. Imagine building a market research report. One agent scrapes the internet. The other agent gets the relevant information. The third agent summarizes it. The fourth agent writes the report. And a manager agent that handles all of these agents. and all of these working at once, talking to each other. Gartner reported that there is an increase of 1445% agent inquiries from Q1 2024 to Q2 of 2025. So this isn't a myth. Real companies are actually using it as we speak. The key to understanding is the corporate structure. Think of it like a CEO and people working under it. Instead, it's just AI. An AI CEO, under it AI VPs, SVPs, under them AI directors, managers, and finally you get down to an AI software developer. Number 7, guardrails and human loop. This is a concept that actually many beginners skip and they regret it. And it is actually very important to understand what guardrails are. Now, when you give your agent autonomy, once in a while it will do stuff that you don't expect it to do, like send an email to the wrong person, send the money that it shouldn't have, or delete a file that was really important. So to prevent this from happening, guardrails were introduced. Now, guardrails are a set of boundaries that limit your agent to doing a certain task and stopping it when it tries to do something rogue. These are a set of rules that a human can define for an agent. For example, always take an approval while sending an email, or always take an approval while paying money. The other concept is the human in the loop. You always design an agent to wait for confirmation from a human and then proceed further. But not on every step. That defeats the purpose of creating an agent in the first place. You only make it stop for the big, risky, or hard to reverse things. Only 15% of IT applications are deploying agents that work autonomously. And the major issue is trust. People don't fully trust the AI agents to go on their own yet. The way to build trust is slowly and through guardrails. So start tight and loosen it bit by bit once the agent proves itself. Number 8, agent evaluation. How do you know if it is actually working? You build an agent. You gave it a set of instructions and it does the stuff. But is it doing the right stuff? Is it performing well? How do you measure that? So that is why there is evaluation. And no beginner thinks about it until something goes wrong. Evaluating agents is much harder than evaluating regular software. You can't just check if it returned the right answer because the agent can take different paths every time. You need to evaluate it based on, did it perform the task given at hand? Did it reach the goal? Did it do within the guardrail set for it? Did it make mistakes along the way? Did it do it in a reasonable amount of time? The way professionals handle it, they run it through test cases that they know where specific scenarios with known set of right answers. If the agent answers them correctly every time, you know it's working well and it understands the task at hand and it can perform the goal. But if it answers wrong, you know where to look for it and how to solve that problem. There's also something called the feedback loop. This is where the agent learns from the feedback given to it and understands what it did wrong. And the more it does, the smarter it gets. It's same like humans. Once you learn that there is a puddle on this path, you avoid the puddle but you still walk on the same path. That's how it works with agents as well. Evaluation isn't glamorous, but that is important, because that is what turns a fancy looking text outputting agent into something that works in a real life. So here's the full picture. Let's bring everything along. AI agents aren't magic, they are systems built on perceive, plan, act loop, powered by tools, kept smart through memory, guided by planning and reasoning, scaled through multi-agent systems, kept safe by guardrails, and measured by evaluation. Every single one of these 8 concepts connects to each other. Skip one of these and your agent has a hole in it. Understand all 8 and you can build something that most people don't even know that it was possible yet. The global AI agents market is set to grow from $5.4 billion in 2025 to $50 billion in 2030. And this industry isn't going away anywhere soon. The people who understand all of this are going to have a massive head start as of now. So now, you know more about AI agents than 90% of the people talking online. Subscribe if you want to see my next video about how I build an AI agent from scratch. That's it for this time. Thank you, my friend.